Hello, Watem here and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. Let us continue.
始めろ。
We tried to break into Tomitake's room very quietly. Obviously, it was a simple job for them to pick a hotel room's lock. The two members at the door communicated with each other using sign language. Even knowing he was asleep, it would be a good idea not to barge in. They opened the door very cautiously and very quietly. The room's interior was organized but tasteless, typical of cheap hotels. The only furnishings were a bed, a small desk, and a coin-operated TV. Oof. Clearly, only one person could stay in this room. Hang on a minute. One bed? Two beds? Then in the bed, Tomitake was not there. Couldn't be found.
どうしたウグイス3、応答しろ。そう、もぬけの殻です。
It was still early in the morning, but the room was empty.
どういうことでしょう。
Yet maybe not shout, because then you might wake up other people in the hotel.
富武には野鳥撮影と散策の趣味がありました。まさか早朝からどこかへ出かけているのでは。
I don't know, that just sounds like some kind of social media bio. It's just like half imagining them just looking on like a smartphone. I know it's 1983, but still, just looking at a smartphone, pulling up like the Facebook page and going, "Oh, it says here that he likes to take walks and take pictures of wild birds. Maybe that's what's going on."
違う。こいつは多分やられたぞ。
The "Do not disturb" sign was on the door. At that time, though, the housekeepers wouldn't come in the room, so they wouldn't know if it was empty or not. The sign had probably been on there since at least the day before. Knowing that Tomitake was planning to stay for a long period, the hotel hadn't really paid much attention. In other words, the room had been empty since then.
多分、奴は襲撃を予見して宿を変えたんだ。そうか。それでしばらく姿を現さなかったのか。三佐に緊急連絡。畜生、こっちの作戦が漏れているぞ。
Yes, your plan has been leaked from the future. Okunogi realized that he had been beaten to the punch. The foundation of the emergency manual had collapsed, and with that, the basis of the final operation was shaky. Okunogi felt that the Major had panicked and rushed into confirming what was going on too hastily. If Tomitake suspected us and went into hiding, and then after, caught wind of that, he was sure to come and grab us by our tails.
全てができすぎだぜ。
I mean, considering the situation, I think it would be perfectly reasonable for them to try to find out what's going on with Rika.
くそ、向こうの計略にきれいに決まっちまったみたいだぞ。
Okunogi tried to calm himself. If he was going to investigate in secret, he could assume that Tomitake was still nearby. The department in Tokyo must be the one conducting the investigation, so he must be waiting somewhere for a report from that department. Tomitake was probably at a new hotel. Probably somewhere in Okinomiya. How many hotels can there be in Okinomiya? Still probably
東京
going
班のカラスに連絡を取れ。
to be very difficult to actually find him.
おそらく調査部が定期連絡してる相手がいるはずだ。その相手の番号を調べさせろ。そいつが獅子骨市内の番号だったらビンゴだ。
Okunogi was confident about his hunch. But if what he was thinking is correct, that meant his identity was about to be exposed. It also meant his operation had failed before it had even started. But it wasn't a checkmate quite yet. If he could prove that the dead body at Okinomiya police station wasn't R, then everything would go back to square one. All he had to do was capture Tomitake and then check the body at the station. That was all. And then actually find Rika, but yes.
通話内容は確認不能ですが、電話番号だけなら何とかできると。ただし、時間が欲しいそうです。
どの程度？
ほんの数時間ほどだそうです。
ほんのときたもんだ。 せかしゃしねえが可能な限り急げと伝えろ。
It was a little past 6 a.m. It was already light outside, but still too early for the cicadas to start their morning chorus. They had endured the first wave. It was now a matter of how quickly they could recover. Okanoki just hoped that the Major didn't throw a fit.
隊長、カラスより連絡です。電話番号は調査中。なお調査部は9時を定時連絡時刻に定めているようです。
あと3時間か。
He looked up at the clock. Even the little things were beginning to bother Okanoki. Every time the second hand moved, he became more impatient, realizing the check-in time was getting closer and closer.
それから調査部長の岡一佐が番犬に対し予備命令を発令しました。任務は示されていないとのことです。
ってことは引っ込みがつくような招集ってわけだな。大事でなけりゃ訓練ってことにしてごまかそうってらしい。大丈夫だ。まだ時間があるってことだ。
続報です。調査部長が幕僚長の自宅へ電話しています。内容は不明。
大丈夫だ。大丈夫。まだギリギリ大丈夫だ。
The Bloodhounds' standby orders meant that they saw a very high chance of the Institute revolting. People on site must be practically certain of it. Though it's not as difficult to execute as the emergency manual, ordering out the Bloodhounds isn't that easy. Yeah. They only did so because they realized that some kind of trouble was afoot. Okanogi was sure that the people who wanted to conclude matters peacefully were trying to settle things down by saying it was just a mistake. In order for the Bloodhounds to stand by without clarifying a mission is like a middle ground in that sense. With the head of a research division called the Chief of Staff, this was a very dangerous situation for the Mountain Dogs. In other words, the higher ranks of the SDF, or people even higher than them, had decided that Bloodhounds could take the field. The uniforms are hot-blooded, but the suits always push for peaceful resolutions. They still hadn't decided which way they wanted to go yet. Our loss wasn't certain yet. Win or tie, everything was riding on the same table. No loss. If that was the case, the call coming in at 9 AM from the research division didn't bode well. Okanogi couldn't say why, but he had that impression. It was just his wild instinct doing its job. You could guess that the people in Tokyo were going to ask Tomitake about the situation in detail, and then decide what to do based on that. It was possible that the head of the division, or even the chief of staff himself, might come on the phone. Then the Bloodhounds might get an order as soon as the 9 AM phone conversation was over, which would result in his defeat. Tokyo was still unsure. Some were still thinking it was some kind of mistake. They wanted to think it was some kind of mistake. If Tomitake didn't answer the phone, they might send some people immediately, if they wouldn't order out for Bloodhounds. There was a chance it could end in a draw. If they found out that the body didn't actually belong to R then, although it would corner them, they still had a good chance of winning. But they'd lose the possibility of a complete victory. Okanogi knew that Kano's clients hadn't ordered anything else but exactly that. He didn't want to admit it, but the enemy surprise attack had succeeded.
隊長、
やかましいね、落ち着けや。連中はまだ確信してない。疑っちゃいるが、バレちゃいない。まだギリギリ大丈夫なんだ。とにかく、先に情報を得た方が勝つ。連中が尻尾をつかむか、俺たちが尻尾をつかむか。確かに初戦の奇襲で徹底的にやられたが、まだ全滅じゃない。だから白旗を上げるんじゃねえ。とにかく待つんだ。カラスが富武の潜伏先を暴く。警察の協力員が R の死亡の真偽を暴く。とにかく今は待つんだ。耐えるんだ。
失礼します。高野三佐からです。相当ご立腹の様子です。
くそ。伏してチャンスを待とうって時に、俺はお姫様のおもりかよ。あ、もしもし、おこのぎです。まあそう焦らずに。 まだそう決まったわけじゃありませんね。まずは落ち着いてコーヒーでも。ええ。
Okunogi tried to change the subject while pretending to laugh, but all he could hear was Takano's frantic voice. He couldn't even understand what she was trying to say. The second hand on the clock ticked on. He was going to be able to smile at the end of it all. Today was going to be a long battle. Okunogi's instincts told him so.
お疲れさんです。今のは誰からですか？
今度はうちの花垂所長じゃわい。だんだんと手強くなってきたぞい。だがわしの敵じゃないな。事務や風情が技術屋に勝てると思ったか。しかし所長が今日所長会のゴルフでよかったわい。直接来られたらちと面倒だったぞ。
ゴルフ場から電話とは仕事してんだかしてないんだか。大高くんめ、所長と一緒に乗り込みたかったろうに。今頃悔しい。
間接攻撃でダメなら次は直接攻撃ですかね。乗り込んできますか、大高のやつ。
所長が捕まらないんじゃ自分で乗り込むしかないと踏むでしょう。ああ、もうじき8時半か。下の窓口が開く頃だ。
Morning had finally arrived. The chorus of cicadas had begun. That familiar sound would make one think it was just another day. But it was hardly going to be normal. It wasn't just an ordinary Sunday. Oishi and his men already realized that they were grazing the tip of a huge conspiracy.
大高君の性分だと多分堂々と胸を張って正面からやってくるでしょう。
自分だけが正義だと思ってるやつにありがちっすね。
わしはここで電話を耐える。お前らはそいつを頼むぞ。
よし、お出迎えで行きましょうかね。クマちゃんはここを頼みます。
The lobby of the Yokonomiya police was just like that of any other police station. It could hardly be said to have a welcoming atmosphere. Some of the tiles on the floor were broken and cracked, so sometimes people tripped on them. Those spots were covered by a piece of cardboard, and there was a sign that said "Caution, watch your step." Wow. There was also a pot with dead plant in it. It was far from a friendly lobby. Unlike hospitals and banks, there wasn't a line of people at the counters of the police station, but there were a few sitting on a sofa, waiting for the counters to open. And they would open soon. Some workers were standing by on the other side of the counters. Otaka was snobbish enough that Oishi didn't want to deal with him first thing in the morning. If only he was a pretty young woman with big boobs. Oishi and his men were on a very important job. If Otaka found out that Rika Furuda's death had been faked, the operation was finished. We were only able to shake up the enemy now while Rika Furuda's death is still on the books. They had to stall for every minute, every second they could, so Tomitake could seize the hold of the tail that was popping out. So if the truth about Rika Furuda's death was exposed before Tomitake had that chance, the enemy would recover. The emergency manual would regain its credibility, and although the enemy wouldn't enact it immediately, they would try again for sure. Rika Furude had detected the conspiracy ahead of time. That was the miracle. The divine wins. Japan had prevented Mongol invasions twice in the past with such miracles, but nothing like that happened during World War II. We might not be so lucky next time. We might not get another chance. There might be no next time at all. Unless they defeated them this time, they would never win again. While it was possible to do some serious damage, a tied game would inevitably lead to the enemy's victory. They had to completely expose what the enemy was up to, allowing Tomitake to call in a suppression unit to defeat them. That was why Oishi had to stop their vanguard here. His job, therefore, was an extremely important one. If the enemy's conspiracy succeeded, Hinman's Isle would be destroyed, and more than 2,000 villagers would be executed in a gas disaster. Either way, the incident would never go public. But people's lives depended on him. Roshi was violating his professional duties. However, he had to do what was right. Roshi thought back to when the old man taught him that. Yeah, I mean, after it's been done, you can say that it was a mission, a secret mission from the Tokyo itself. Akasaka-san involved. Someone who, despite the hot weather, was wearing a suit, came in through the automatic sliding door. He had 2 of his colleagues with him. He was showing off his authority, just like he always did.
Yo! おはようございます、大高くん。
これは。おはようございます、大石さん。それから、私のことはくんと呼ばないでください。もうあなたにくんで呼ばれるような立場ではありません。
まあ、そんなこと言わずに、大高くん。
Really emphasizing the kun there.
同じ宅で麻雀を打ってよしみじゃないですか?
Otaka seemed disgusted to hear that. He used to boast about being a good mahjong player, but Hoshi once beaten him badly in front of many people, which hurt his pride.
あなたとゆっくり休校を温めたいところですが、今日は急ぎの用事がありますので、失礼させていただきます。
まあ、そう言わずに。交流剣道大会で症状の筆行委託を忘れちまったと。あんたが私に泣きついてきたんで、こっそりステージ裏で書いてあげたから、無事表彰式ができたんじゃないの。
その件については感謝していますが、今は関係ないことです。
ありゃ、感謝してくれてましたの？そりゃ失礼。そういう話はとんと聞いたことがなかったもので。県警では私が書きたいとわがまま言ったから筆行委託を断ってわざわざ書かせてやったんだって話で通ってましたよ。症状の字があまりにうまくないのでどういうことなんだと本部長に聞かれて以来のあなたの言い訳のはずですが。
さあ、どうなんでしょうね。誰かが誤解してるんじゃないですか。私はそんなこと言ってませんよ。
県警本部はあなたの島だろうが、あいにくここは沖宮署でね。あんたの思い通りにはそうならんってこってす。
ほう、それはどういう意味ですか、大石さん。
あんたがここへ何しに来たかは知らんが、あんたの島はゴグラだ。沖宮じゃない。おとなしく引き上げてもらいましょう。
何の権限があってだね。
そちらこそ何の権限があってですかな。
県警本部で現在捜査中のある秘匿捜査事件についてだ。その件に関連があると思われる身元不明死体がこちらにあると聞いてね。
No, but we don't have any unidentified bodies here.
なら電話でお問い合わせを。
Okunomiya isn't a rich neighborhood. This isn't a place where someone in a custom-made suit should be.
なるほど。どうやら鑑識課の連中とつるんでいるようですね。所長から検視報告をすべて県警本部に引き渡すよう命令が来ているはずです。
その件については鑑識から所長に説明が入っているはずです。まだ検視中でね。ちょいとうちのミスで身元が特定されたような情報が内部に流れちまったようですが、ですので報告書を出すにはちょいとお時間をいただかないとならないわけです。
ならその検視に我々も立ち会わせてもらおう。
嫌です。
はあ？私は県警本部の秘匿事件担当として。
それが本当なら私はあんたの刑事魂を疑わない。刑事魂は高潔だ。そりゃお給料がもらえなかったらこんな商売誰だってやりゃしないです。ですがね、それだけじゃ測れない魂がなきゃ刑事は務められないんです。 あんたにその魂があるってんなら私はここを譲りますよ。
The look in Oishi's eye made it clear the anger that was roiling within him. As he looked into his eyes, Otaka recalled all kinds of frightening memories. Otaka didn't want Oishi to sense his fear, but he couldn't prevent himself from loudly swallowing.
ならそこを譲ってもらいましょう。私も刑事魂でここに来ています。そこをどいてください。
With more spirit.
なら私をその刑事魂で押してどかしてみなさい。ほれ。
なんですって。
あんたの刑事魂が私の刑事魂に負けないくらいに重いものなら私なんか簡単にどかせちゃうはずですよ。ほれ、試してみなさい。
Oishi was obviously saying that he had no intention of letting Otaka free. How could he do this? Otaka was confused. Otaka was an elite policeman of the Prefectural police headquarters. He believed academic background and performance record were enough to earn trust. He has been working hard under that belief. But Oishi doesn't acknowledge that, and he doesn't even respect him. He's a scumbag. He's the worst type of person. One who tried to establish their meaning and purpose only through rough means, refusing to acknowledge everything about their superiors in order to protect their own pride, as uncivilized people often did. Otaka had been thinking ever since they worked together. Why did people trust in someone like Oishi? Why did people respect someone like him? Why did people appreciate someone like Oishi more than they did Otaka?
どきたまえ。今すぐどかなければ捜査妨害で君を告発することもできるんだぞ。
ほう、そりゃどんな捜査ですかな。話してくれりゃ協力もしますよ。
だから君もわからない人だな。秘匿捜査だから君ごとき田舎署の刑事には話せんのだ。
なるほど。全部話せないなら一部でもいい。あんたはその仕事に何を背負ってますか？
背負う？何を言ってるんだ？
私はね、背負ってますよ。私の後ろには村の住民の命運2000人分があります。あんたを通せば2000人、いや、その親戚やご家族も含めればもっと大勢の人が悲しむことになる。あんた分かってますよね。
何の話かさっぱりだ。
腹を割ってやる。あんたの飼い主は恐ろしいことを企んでいる。あんたはそこまで想像がついちゃいないだろうが、何千人もの人が不幸になる恐ろしい陰謀を企んでるんだ。そいつがくじかれる里際だってんで、多分就寝中だったあんたを叩き起こしてすぐに調べろと命じたんだ。いくらの小遣いで頼まれてるかは知らんが、それがあんたの刑事魂より重いってんなら。
Oishi stopped talking there, but his eyes continued to speak after that.
何を言っているのかさっぱりわからないですよ。とにかくそこを通してください。
Otaka's baffled behavior confirmed what Oishi had just said. He'd been bought off by someone shady. But maybe he didn't think that he was bought. He probably thought he was just filling the request to confirm Rika through this body was as a favor from someone in the information network he assumed he built himself. Of course, a part of it being a classified investigation was a lie. But when an elite policeman from the prefectural headquarters says that it was a classified investigation, everyone would grovel and salute him. But, Oishi didn't salute him at all.
話になりません。このことは後日必ず所長に抗議させていただきます。
おう、まだんかい。話はまだ終わってませんよ。
As Otaka tried to walk by, Oishi grabbed him by the arm. Otaka tried to make him let go, but Oishi was just too strong.
話してください、大石さん。
ありゃ、大して力を入れてるつもりはないんですがね。 あんたに真の刑事魂があったらこんなのには屈しない。あんたの揺るぎない正義を私なんかあっさり打ち倒して踏み越えていくでしょう。だがあんたはこの程度の腕も剥がせない。なんでかわかりますか？
離せ。
Because you have more muscles than him?
てめえには刑事魂がないからだよ。
Right. Oishi let go of his shoulder, and Dorotaka tumbled onto the floor, sliding for more than 2 meters.
これは捜査妨害だ。公務執行妨害、いや傷害の現行犯だぞ。緊急逮捕しろ。
Otaka ordered his 2 colleagues round, but they didn't know what to do. Oishi was also a policeman, and obviously there was something more going on between them. Besides, they could sense one thing. Their instincts were telling them that Oishi was far stronger than them. They were no match at all.
どうしましたか、大石さん。
Some officers were gathering in the lobby. They all looked puzzled.
いえいえ、県警の青二歳が筋の通らんことを言い出したもので、ちょいと先輩として指導したまでです。
The officers alternately looked between Oishi and Otaka. They knew something was going on. They didn't know the circumstances, so they didn't know which one to stop. Oishi was respected by the policemen of the Okonomiya station. Everyone respected him. If Oishi said that Otaka was being selfish, then he must be at fault. Oishi was generally seen as sensible. All of them thought that Oishi would only do this in a public place like a lobby, if it was something major. Otaka was feeling humiliated to get such attention, while he was presumably still on the floor. He stood up calmly, hiding his humiliation with anger.
なるほど。あなたの言い分は分かりました。私も子供の使いでここに来ているわけじゃない。
いい根性です。胸を貸しますよ。かかってこい、青二歳が。お前はそんなもんか。くそー。お前の刑事魂は、俺はひなみ沢2000人を背負ってる。諸葛管内2000人の命を預かってる。ならば2000人を押し退ける気迫で今回や。
It was like watching a match between a sumo wrestler and a small child. No matter how many times Otaka tried to tackle Oishi, he simply crumbled against him. Oishi stood firm, as if his feet were rooted to the earth. By the 3rd time Otaka tumbled to the floor, he finally realized he had been provoked. He caught his breath and fixed his hair.
わかりました。ならばお教えしましょう。私が担当している事件は、あなたもご存知の S 号絡みです。その経由で、とある方面から真偽を確かめてほしいと依頼されたのです。
回りくどい言い方じゃわかりませんな。もうちょいわかるようにお願いします。
何しろ疑われているのは、ひなみ沢地区では信仰上のマスコットともいえる少女の死なのです。それが事実かどうか、すぐに確かめなければなりません。
だから電話で説明したでしょ。現在調査中。まだまだお時間がかかります。
いや、言いたくなかったんですがね、この依頼はもう隠すのはやめましょう。あなたの大の苦手の園崎議員からです。
Huh.
はあ、紋付き袴の怖い人ね。確かに苦手ですね。あの人に凄まれたら、私も道理を引っ込めて無理を通すしかありません。
そうでしょう、そうでしょう。その園崎議員から大至急本当にフルで理科の死体なのかどうか確かめてほしいと依頼されたのです。 住民の依頼ですからね。住民のための警察です。引き受けるのは当然ですよ。
Yeah, your story really isn't matching up with what you said before, though. So obviously something fishy going on. In any case, I will end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. Until next time, see ya.